Good morning to all our partners and friends from the US and happy International Education Week. Καλησπέρα σε όλους τους συνεργάτες και φίλους από την Ελλάδα. Welcome to Pharos Anniversary Virtual Celebration. Thank you all for joining us for today's event. I'm Theo Papaioannou, Studying Greece Director of Academic Affairs, and it's a great pleasure to welcome you and to host this event. Today, we came together to celebrate the one-year anniversary of the groundbreaking Pharos Summit, highlight several fruits of the US-Greek academic collaboration, and reaffirm our commitment to our common objectives in education. I, on behalf of Studying Greece, would like to express my gratitude to all those who believe in this innovative initiative, supporting it from its inception to its fruition. Let me first thank all our great partners, the Institute of International Education, the Greek Ministry of Education, Religious Affairs and Sports, the US Embassy, and Fulbright Greece. Thank you all for your valuable insights, expertise, and guidance. It's such a privilege to cooperate with you. I would also like to thank all our colleagues and friends who made this happen, universities, faculty, and administration, attendees and participants from both sides of the Atlantic. Thank you all for your eagerness to collaborate, embracing this program, supporting our efforts, and contributing to our internationalization endeavors. Before giving the floor to our distinguished speakers and leaders, let me make a brief introduction to the world of Greek-United States collaboration in higher education. Pharos Anniversary Celebration. What do we exactly celebrate today and why? At a time of turmoil and division, and amid unprecedented global challenges we are all witnessing, education is the most powerful investment in our future, offering us the opportunity to learn about and engage with the world we share. International academic partnerships programs, like the one we celebrate today, constitute a response to these global challenges. In 2019, the Institute of International Education, Washington, the Greek Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs, the US Embassy in Greece, and Fulbright Greece conceived and launched the International Academic Partnership Program Greece, IAPP Greece, a flagship program aimed at promoting enhanced collaboration between the US and Greece. In the framework of the IAPP Greece, in November 2022, delegates from 30 US and 24 Greek higher education institutions and governments of both countries convened in Greece for the Pharos Summit, gathering more than 60 US university representatives and including site visits to all 24 public Greek universities, the Presidential Mansion in Athens, and the US Embassy in Athens. Pharos is the most significant project to date in the landscape of international education, highlighting all of the great work that the United States and Greece are doing to advance our people-to-people ties and shared education goals and cultural values. But it represents only one station in the ongoing journey of the US-Greek academic collaboration. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker. We're truly honored to have with us today the Minister of Education, Religious Affairs and Sports, Mr. Kyriakos Pierakakis. His curriculum vitae is a telling example of the US-Greek relationship in academia, research, and beyond, since Minister Pierakakis, after earning his master's in public policy at Harvard Kennedy School of Governance and his master's science in technology and policy at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, had moved back to Greece to become the architect of the country's digital transformation as Minister of Digital Governance. Modernization and internationalization of higher education and the support of more joint academic and research initiatives between Greece and the US are some of his principal goals for the new ministry. Minister, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words and for giving me the opportunity to address you. And first of all, thank you for all your efforts to showcase the international contemporary side of Greek universities, and the results have been telling and extremely encouraging. First of all, two necessary words of thanks. I must thank my predecessor, Niki Kerameos, for her commitment to the program, and especially for hosting the Pharos Summit in November 2022, which Prime Minister Mitsotakis attended, and to the American ambassador in Greece, George Tsounis, who is always on our side, and especially for the latter point, a year after the summit, we might say that it attracted the largest university delegation that the Institute of International Education sent to a single country. I think that effectively the Pharos Summit represents a milestone in the US-Greek collaboration in higher education. Of course, conceived and launched in 2019, as you already mentioned, IAPP is the fruit of collaboration between the Institute of International Education, the Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs of Greece, of the Hellenic Republic, the US Embassy of Greece, Fulbright, Greece, and Study in Greece. And it provides a platform, an ideal platform to forge contacts, foster synergies, and promote enhanced collaboration between Greek and US institutions. A wide range of programs, as you very well know, have already been developed within the framework of IAPP Greece: joint dual degrees, short-term courses for US students in Greece, joint research programs, faculty exchange and guest teaching, joint lectures and conferences. And needless to say, Greek higher education enjoys the benefit of this international academic partnership program in many ways, on campus and off campus. On campus, we're enriching and we're internationalizing the curricula of Greek higher education institutions through this osmosis, as we would say in Greece, through this collaboration. We're enhancing the quality of research being carried out through research collaboration with top US higher education institutions. It contributes to the international development of Greek institutions overall by boosting the internationalization of Greek higher education. It raises the international reputation and ranking of Greek universities. It diversifies students, faculty, and staff on campus, attracts more international students to Greece, and generates, of course, new sources of revenue for Greek higher education institutions. But those benefits, of course, are non-tangible as well, and they're not limited to on-site benefits. They also reach beyond campus because they advance the Greek-U.S. people-to-people ties, our common education goals, reaffirm shared values and foundations regarding democracy, diversity, inclusivity, academic freedom. And of course, it has a lot of spillover effects, both economic, but I would say also social, because from our standpoint, this program produces Greek ambassadors who will love and support Greece in the future. Dear friends, 1 year after the Pharos Summit, the Greek state is preparing new legislation to enhance this relationship between Greek universities and universities abroad, and I would say specifically primarily US universities in this regard. And we will soon be ready to host more programs and welcome further partnerships between Greek public universities and top international universities. The plan is dual. On the one hand, we plan to legislate branches of foreign universities, as we say, non-Greek state universities in our country. And on the other hand, we plan to deepen the internationalization program by actually trying to further catalyze joint degrees within the context of Greek public universities. And all of this will take place in the context of a cohesive legal and regulatory framework, which we plan to advance quite soon. For decades, Greece has hesitated, staying behind international developments in higher education. We have made a leap to the future in the last 4 years in various ways, in various policy areas, and we plan to continue conducting this leap. Thank you so much for being with us on this journey, and thank you so much for fostering and developing this program. And we're much looking forward to further fruits that this program will bear in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your ongoing support, Minister, and we look forward to continue our internationalization journey. At this point, and before sharing their video created for today's occasion, I would like to extend a special thank you to our great partners and friends from the US Embassy in Athens, Christine, Shana, Marina, Eleni, Study in Greece and Greek universities gratefully acknowledge your support as well as your generosity and commitment to our shared academic and cultural objectives. As you will see in this video, U.S. Ambassador to Greece George Tsounis and Shana Sarendra, U.S. Cultural Attaché in Athens, discussed the importance of U.S.-Greece academic collaboration and the significance of the IAPP Greece program for the bilateral relationship between the two countries. George?
Hi everyone, my name is Shana Sarendra and I'm the Cultural Affairs Officer here at the U.S. Embassy in Athens. It's so exciting to be reconnecting with all of you to mark the one-year anniversary of the groundbreaking Pharos Summit. I'd like to give a huge thanks to all of our partners, first of all to Study in Greece for organizing this event today, also to the government of Greece, to IIE, to Fulbright, and most of all to all of our university partners here in Greece and in the United States. Thank you for all of your efforts. I'm here today with Ambassador Tsounis, who's going to give us a sense of how he views U.S. and Greek educational partnerships. So, Ambassador Tsounis, what would you say were the key highlights of the Pharos Summit?
Well, to have the active participation of the Prime Minister, the First Lady, ministry officials, it really demonstrated Greece's commitment to higher education and growing the relationship between the United States and Greece in terms of the internationalization, the globalization of education. So to have more American students come study abroad in Greece and to have more Greek students go over to the United States, they are essentially each other's ambassadors. You know, it brings our two countries together, and they have marvelous educational experiences. Education may be one of the most important pillars in our strategic relationship.
So you're already starting to get to this question, but what I would love to hear is, from your perspective, what do you see as the benefits of U.S.-Greek educational partnerships?
Look, education is foundational. It is everything, but not for a tremendous public school education. I don't know where I would have been in life. The fact that we're opening up educational opportunities from people from all walks of life is especially important to me, but it's also important to, you know, civil society, that people have an opportunity not only to be enlightened, but to climb ladders of success in life.
What do you see as the next steps to Pharos?
Well, we're really excited about that. We had 24 of Greece's public universities participate, and I think that's catching on in terms of velocity. We're pressing upon these things, more involvement with Greek and U.S. universities, and you know that can only benefit the bilateral relationship, but more importantly, it benefits students' opportunity to have, you know, great educational experiences.
Well, to all of our friends who've joined us today, we wish you a fantastic event, and we're here with you every step of the way. Thank you.
But we are delighted to have with us Ms. Christine Roberts, Counselor for Public Affairs at the U.S. Embassy in Athens, who would like to comment and address her remarks. Ms. Roberts, please.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be surrounded here today by so many great friends. On behalf of the U.S. government, on behalf of the U.S. Embassy in Greece, on behalf of Ambassador Tsounis, it is just my absolute joy and pleasure to welcome you today to this celebration of the one-year anniversary of the historic Pharos Summit. To those of you who participated in last year's summit, so delighted to reconnect with you today and to remember fondly the memories that we made 1 year ago. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your continued dedication to this growing U.S.-Greece educational partnership. Our embassy is committed to expanding and strengthening our bilateral educational partnership, and we want you to know that we are here as a resource at the U.S. Embassy. I invite you and your institutions to please reach out to me and to my team if we can help you in any way. We'd love to know more about your efforts, and we're here to help you navigate any challenges, but also the opportunities. We come together today at a very exciting time, and I know my IIE colleagues shared this sentiment with the release of the Open Doors 2023 statistics yesterday. And we were so delighted to see that the educational ties between the United States and Greece are truly at a record-breaking high. As those statistics were announced yesterday, I don't think any of us were surprised to see the outstanding growth trajectory of this special educational relationship. Greece is now the 8th top U.S. study abroad destination for U.S. students. Just think, just 3 years ago, Greece ranked number 20. So much room for us to continue to grow this relationship, and we're excited to partner with you to do so. We're also seeing positive growth in the number of Greek students that are studying in the United States, up 5.5% compared to the last academic year. So for those of you working in this space, these are fantastic numbers, and they should come as absolutely no surprise. They are the result of your collective dedication. And they're the result, if we can speak honestly, of hours and hours of meetings. They're also the result of breaking down some bureaucratic hurdles. They're the result of highly driven students, professors, administrators, effectively all of you who are here on this call today. We have reached new heights, but as my colleagues like to say, we haven't quite reached the summit. So thanks to our great friends that study in Greece and at the participating Greek and U.S. institutions, we are confident that this momentum will continue to grow. So once again, on behalf of the U.S. government, on behalf of Ambassador Tunis, we thank you all for everything that you do to support the U.S.-Greek educational collaboration, and we look forward to working with you in the months and years ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine. It's a real honor, and thank all our friends from the U.S. Embassy for this wonderful cooperation. It is such a great opportunity and honor to introduce our next speaker. Dr. Alan Goodman is an important figure in international affairs, and of course, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of International Education. In the various projects and programs he has organized, conducted, and promoted, his works and public speaking, Dr. Goodman underlines the critical need for international higher education in search for world peace. And I would like to welcome him with one of his famous quotes. Every key global issue we face today, there is a component of that has to start with education. Dr. Goodman, welcome to Pharos Anniversary Virtual Celebration. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so very much for having me and all of our colleagues from IIE and Claire, Susan, and the rest, Corey, that are on the line with us. I need some advice, which is how do I get my 5 grandkids to study abroad in Greece, because every one of them wants to do it after I returned from Pharos 1, and my wife and I have made a commitment to make sure that every one of them does have the chance. So Artemis, maybe they'll be coming your way or study in Greece. Maybe they'll go that route, but the Goodman kids will have Greece as part of their education. I think what a terrific way to start this anniversary. It illustrates for all of us that it not only takes a village to make these things happen, but it takes 2 democracies firmly linked, working together, that realize the value of educational exchange in both directions, that strengthens the bonds between our people, our cultures, and our histories. Grateful for the minister joining us. I look forward to meeting him in person soon. Thinking back to Pharos 1, I began my remarks by quoting from the Agamemnon, where Aeschylus puts in the words of the watchman, "I pray the gods relieve my years-long watch." And Nikki and I actually felt like we were the watchmen and women because while it didn't take as long as to get news of the end of the Trojan War, it felt like we were that watchman year after year, pandemic development after pandemic development, seeing the summit and the visit deferred. Thanks God, it then happened a year ago, and today we mark this anniversary, and also Aeschylus's watchman also has words for this occasion. He says, "But now at last the welcome hour, with beacon fire of hope deferred no more." And that's how we felt when we gathered in Athens a year ago. It's how we feel today. The hope of Greek-American academic relationships and the internationalization strategy of Greece and America's desire for more international academic partnerships is indeed deferred no more. And I think you will hear the level of progress that's made in a series of case studies next. But we want to thank all of the partners that embraced the visit, embraced the idea of partnerships with Greece, rediscovered Greece in the process, and together are rediscovering a bright future for all our students, including my grandkids who will study in Greece. Thank you very much for having IIE with you this morning and this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Goodman, and all members of the IIET team, Susan, Claire, Sylvia, Corey, for this exceptional cooperation. So pleased to partner with you. Our next speaker needs no introduction. He's the person with whom I spend hours and hours on the phone every day, being also the man who conceived and materialized the idea of studying Greece back in 2014. Dr. Christos Michalakelis, Associate Professor of Informatics and Telematics at Harokopio University, Athens, and of course, the President of Studying Greece. Dear President and friend, we are all ears.
Thank you, Tomer. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, on the other side of the Atlantic, I'm deeply honored today and delighted to address you today as we gather to celebrate the inaugural anniversary of the Pharos Summit, the Greek-U.S. collaboration in higher education. This collaborative initiative led by the Ministry of Education, Religious Affairs and Sports, in conjunction with the Institute of International Education, the U.S. Embassy in Athens and Fulbright Greece transcends borders in the spirit of collaboration between U.S. and Greek higher education institutions. The IAPP program was launched in 2019 through a partnership between the IIE and the Ministry of Education. Its primary aim is to cultivate sustainable U.S.-Greek academic partnerships encompassing student mobility, collaborative research, faculty exchange, and more. This time, as one of the key partners of IAPP Greece, Studying Greece is delighted to organize this anniversary gathering. I'm particularly pleased to announce that 90% of the participating American universities and colleges are actively moving forward in advancing partnerships with our Greek counterparts, and numerous academic collaborations have been established and conducted across various avenues, including short-term study programs, joint research, immersion trips, student and faculty exchange, joint dual degree programs, and more. So I would like to take this opportunity to express my wishes for this virtual celebration to become a significant milestone in our ongoing journey to build enduring academic partnerships between U.S. and Greek higher education institutions. As the President of Studying Greece, I would like to thank all of those who have contributed to the success of our collaborative efforts and to reaffirm Studying Greece's commitment to this path. This gathering represents a continued journey of the Pharos Summit, a journey that has the potential to reinforce the U.S.-Greek higher education cooperation. Thank you all, and let us continue this exciting journey together.
Thank you very much, Christos. At this point, I would like to welcome one more exceptional partner, leader of the oldest Fulbright in Europe and outstanding advocate of the U.S.-Greek collaboration in higher education, Ms. Artemis Zenetou, is tirelessly dedicated to promoting enhanced collaboration between U.S. and Greece through student mobility, since the Fulbright program stands as the most precious tool for academic exchange worldwide. So we're truly honored to have the Executive Director of Fulbright Greece, Artemis Zenetou, with us. Artemis, thank you for being with us. Please.
Thank you very much, Theo. Thank you to all of our partners, valuable partners from both sides of the Atlantic. It's indeed a great pleasure to reconvene a year after the Pharos Summit to celebrate and discuss the progress actually on Greek-U.S. collaboration in higher education. As Alan Goodman had said once about the Fulbright program and exchanges, he compared it to the Odyssey. And the truth is, it is an Odyssey. Exchanges between our countries are being celebrated for close to 1 century, I would say. And it's important to mention some US-based institutions in Greece, like the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, the American College of Greece Diri, Anatolia College, American Farm School, and College here in Athens, along with Fulbright, for enhancing the student and scholar mobility. It's a pleasure to know that the Open Doors numbers that were announced yesterday show again that Greece is on the rise. We have a motto of education destination Greece, and with the efforts of studying Greece that is now almost 10 years since they approached us at Fulbright, it seems that it's much easier for American scholars, and not only from scholars from different parts of the world, to be able to find in a one-stop shop, if I can use that word, or like opportunities in Greece, and also to highlight English-speaking programs available in Greek universities. Since 1948, for nearly 75 years, Fulbright has served with passion, focus, and dedication on the exchange of scholars between the two countries. We have always worked from day one with all 24 public Greek universities, and through the Pharos Summit, we see the further commitment and a number of new partnerships that emerged even beyond the Pharos Summit. And it's a pleasure to see how, infectious this enthusiasm is, to realize that we've been all focused on exchanges for many, many decades, but now there is a much easier framework made possible by the Ministry of Education and the Greek government at large to facilitate these exchanges. Fulbright is a vehicle, and it will serve to further enhance the Greek-U.S. collaboration by providing opportunities for students, scholars, artists, and educators. We're pleased also to announce that as of last year, with the collaboration with the State Scholarship Foundation, IAPP, we are presenting more scholarship opportunities for PhD candidates, either in Greece or in the US, to study in each other's country. These scholarships serve as a brain circulation and eventually as a brain gain. It's important to remember that someone who leaves from the country with a Fulbright scholarship is bound to return. And we really look at Fulbright grants over the years on how their multiplier affects the academic community and beyond. Thank you again for the opportunity to be able to enhance and contribute in these exchanges. And we look forward to many more years and many more partnerships between our two countries. Congratulations to all.
Thank you so much, Artemis. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and happy International Education Week. On behalf of IIE and IIE Center for International Partnerships and our team, thank you so much for joining us today as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Pharos Summit 2022. Now, before we dive into the Greek-U.S. partnership presentations, I would like to share some key progress updates from our executive briefing paper on the International Academic Partnership Program in Greece. In this paper, we found that 100% of our participants responded affirmatively that as a result of the summit, they now have a better understanding of how institutions in the US and Greece can work together. And nearly all participants identified new partnership opportunities for their institutions and deepened existing discussions with counterparts. Post-summit, participants expressed a keen interest in learning more about various partnership modalities, funding resources, updates on new courses or degree programs in English, insights into how others are progressing with their partnerships, and the possibility of a Greek delegation visiting the United States. Now, these outcomes underscore the tangible impact of our collaborative efforts and set the stage for today's presentations. You can find more information about the progress to date in the executive briefing paper, which we will share once more post this call, along with our partnership tracker link so that we can continue to stay abreast on partnerships between the United States and Greece. Now, without further ado, let us turn our attention to the remarkable progress achieved by institutions that have embraced the spirit of collaboration. In the following order, we will hear from first the Technical University of Crete and the University of Southern California, next the University of Ionia and Columbia University, third, Heracopio University and Rutgers University, and finally, Ionian University and the University of Texas Health Houston. Now, as a reminder, each presenter will speak for about 5 minutes, and they will share their own screen or presentation for this portion of our event as a cue for those who are presenting as a reminder. Now, as we listen to these presentations, let's celebrate these achievements and acknowledge the dedication of everyone involved in fostering sustainable academic partnerships. Time permitting, after all 4 presentations, we may open the floor for discussion and questions. Thank you, and let's proceed with the first presentation. We have the Technical University of Crete and USC.
Hello, everybody. I guess I can start the presentation. Let me share my screen. Okay. I'm George Karistinos from the Technical University of Crete. I'm the Dean of the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and I'm going to present briefly our student exchange program that we run jointly between the Technical University of Crete and the University of Southern California as a result of the Pharos Summit last year. This presentation was planned to be made by both me and Kelly Goulis, Senior Associate Dean of the University of Southern California. Kelly had a flight from LA to Turkey yesterday to today, and there was a long delay in LA, so she couldn't make it, so I'll make the presentation. The program that we have signed, the agreement we have signed with the University of Southern California is between the 2 partners, the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering of the Technical University of Crete and the Viterbi School of Engineering from the University of Southern California. Basically, the program is an exchange program for undergraduate students. It establishes courses that take students at the host institutions and count as credits toward graduation of their home institutions. And the objective is to get them a learning experience in an overseas environment. The story started last year, November 8th. We had in Chania, in the Technical University of Crete, delegates from 15 universities, US universities, that visited TUC and met with Professor Vasilos Digalakis, who was the president of the Standing Committee on Cultural and Educational Affairs of the Hellenic Parliament, Professor Michael Lagoudakis, who was director of TUC at that time, faculty and school deans of TUC, also the former rector of TUC, Professor Evangelos Diamandopoulos, attended the meetings. One of the delegates was Kelly Goulis, right here, with whom I had a long discussion that day, and we negotiated the terms and conditions for a possible agreement over the next couple of months, which resulted on February 1st on an agreement signed, a student exchange agreement signed between the Viterbi School of Engineering of USC and the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering of the UC. And it was signed by the rector of the Technical University of Crete, Professor Michael Zarvakis, and the Dean of the Viterbi School of USC, Professor Yannis Giorgos. After that, the agreement, the highlights of the agreement are the following. Each year, 4 undergraduate students from our school, from the Technical University of Crete, receive a tuition waiver for 1 semester to study at USC, and they take courses there that count toward graduation from our school. Reciprocally, each year, 4 undergraduate students from USC attend our school, our Technical University of Crete, and take courses that count toward graduation at USC. The students at both sides are selected based on academic excellence, and the agreement has a duration of 5 years and can be renewed. Then, for about 2 or 3 months, the 2 departments, the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering from our side and the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering of the University of Southern California, reviewed the courses and the course material of their undergraduate programs to make a match between them and approve them. And this approval was made finally on May 5, 2023. So the agreement was run. We advertised the agreement. This is a screenshot of the website of the Technical University of Crete mentioning the agreement, and this is a screenshot of the University of Southern California also mentioning the agreement, having a few information on it. It was late in May to send 4 students, but we made an attempt, both universities, to try to send 1 student from Chania to Los Angeles. And this student was Konstantinos Milonas. He was selected in May among other applicants. His selection was made by both schools, Crete and University of Southern California. Konstantinos moved to Los Angeles in August. He's spending his fall semester at USC right now. He's taking courses that will count toward graduation after he returns from USC. And in 2024, we expect to run fully the agreement, which means that we expect 4 students from the University of Southern California to study in Crete, and we plan to send 4 students in the next fall semester. So the program, not agreement anymore, the program is running already, and it will be running fully next year and the coming 4 years. So that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, George, and we wish Kelly was here, but completely understand. Next up on board is the University of Ionia and Columbia University.
Thank you, Sylvia. Can you see my screen?
Right now, now we can, yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to present our work. This is how we view this endeavor, as how navigated towards successful international academic collaboration by setting sustainable developmental goals. And this would be a focused effort for the US academic institutions. So within this 5-minute pitch, I will present through 2 slides how was the pre-Pharos status at the University of Ioannina. We'll consider Pharos a milestone for us. And then I will explain how the strategic planning alignment happened and the preliminary results. And finally, focus on the case study, which is our collaboration between the University of Ioannina and the Columbia University. At the very end, I will give the floor to Professor Charles Branas, who is joining us today. We're privileged to have him with us for the concluding remark. So this is our status. This was our status pre-Pharos 1 year ago. We had a very strong collaboration record with the University of Ioannina, between the University of Ioannina and US institutions, recorded by established consortia and secure funding. And we also had a large number of highly cited high penetrance papers with the indications for autonomy from our side. And indeed, when we tracked, because of the Pharos Summit, when we mapped our collaboration map, we have 15 active collaborations with 26 USA institutions, most of them focusing on research, but also having a focus on teaching and joint programs for 1/3 of them. The University of Ioannina stands high at the overall Greek map for US Greek collaboration. So we said, at this point, and because of the Pharos Summit, we had to do this retrospection and say, why truly bother? And indeed, news from around the world have been arising and are now prominent that this kind of collaboration, this dedicated effort for internationalization is actually vital to the existence of the academic institution across the world. These are news from the UK, where after the loss of incoming Erasmus Plus exchange student, which is our study abroad platform, so to say, in Europe, there is an established loss of international diversity, with the impact that we know very well that this situation can have in our institutions. So with the under the guidance of our rector, Professor Anna Battistatou, who we're also privileged to have her with us today, there was a strategic plan alignment across 3 major pillars. We endeavor to enhance successful PI-led activities with institutional and USA-specific attributes. We already have this experience within Europe and across Europe, and then also support the University of Ioannina faculty in seeking, securing, implementing, and sustaining US collaboration. We consider the Fulbright activities the flagship of this effort. And finally, establish new collaborations with a strong institutional background. What have we achieved? So this is the Pharos effect for us. We have an overarching effect led by the leadership of the University of Ioannina. This is the first example, courtesy of Professor Caterina Plachici. So we have a scheduled study abroad program between the George Mason University, the University of Florida, and the University of Ioannina, which will focus on One Health education. We also expect our colleagues from the US to be here with us in March 2024 to exchange practices and views on this very important topic. This is the second project which I will talk more about, which is the Refugee Health Evidence Map along with Columbia University. And the third overarching component of our collaboration is a community outreach project. This is a summer school dedicated to Greek language, culture, and media, which is led by Professor Nicole Tsitsanoudis-Malidis, who is also an affiliate of the Harvard Center for the Hellenic Studies, where she has already announced the 10th summer school on the specific topic to be happening in Boston with the collaboration of many institutions there. So based on this overarching effort, I will give it a bit more focus on the Refugee Health Evidence Map. I will explain the challenge. So why should we choose this particular topic? For Greece, the refugee and forced migration is a major issue, as you know very well. We have a growing population of refugees. In this population, there are unaccompanied children included, who require assistance in all terms of their aspects of life. What I would like you to focus not on the content of the left, on the right part of this slide, is how their health is correlated, associated with a number of factors that do not strike out as health related. So refugee health is a very complex domain where many society-based attributes are involved, and also many policy attributes are involved, and this is why we thought we'd focus on that. So our approach is multidisciplinary. It includes education, it includes cultural access and language access, it includes policy through research mapping, and also, of course, research endeavors through the lifespan of this project. What would be the output? The output would be a resource that would be open access, globally accessed with a free access for any stakeholder across the world, where the evidence related to refugee health, related to prevention, education, intervention, screening, etc., would be organized as regards the confidence that we have in the arising intervention. So we would know, the stakeholders should know where to invest resources so as to be able to promote refugee health. Our plan for action, we had already set up the core research team. We plan to sustain this financially by funding for the ELIDEC call, which is a national call for funding coming up in early January. And by that, of course, expecting the rejections that are expected in this competitive calls. But once we have a proposal, we know that we can then extend our funding efforts to various others funding schemes. We plan to have the Columbia Global Center involvement, and of course, we would very much like to have the Study in Greece involvement, as we consider that refugee life is also correlated to student life. So we would like to explore how we could move further on that. And by that, I would like to give the floor to Professor Charles Branas from Columbia University for his concluding remark on this collaboration.
I have very little to add, Evie. It's a joy and an honor to be invited to say anything here. I'm with Columbia University, and I'm with the Department of Epidemiology here, and it's wonderful to connect with a fellow epidemiologists. And it's clear from the conversations today that there's an immense value to the mutual exchange of education, but also, as this project on forced migration demonstrates, the mutual exchange of work on research and service. So it's an absolute joy to be invited by you to say something, Professor Zani, as well as to make a connection with you and the rector of the University of Ioannina. So it's our pleasure to continue this work with you all.
Sylvia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much to both of you. And it was really insightful to hear about the work that you did pre-in-country delegation to really identify, to look internally and identify where your existing connections and work with the United States and other partnerships, and then to take that and align it with your strategy as an institution. And
you did
go
that
into
trick,
those.
Sylvia. That was thanks to Pharos and your input. So we had to kind of, see ourselves again through your lenses, and that has been very, very useful.
And it really shows with the outputs of the two examples that you put forth today. So thank you. I'm going to move forward with Heracopio University and Rutgers University. I think they're going to discuss two programs from their collaboration. You have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Mara Nicolaidou from Heracopio University of Athens. Let me start by saying how happy I am to see you again, Claire, Sylvia, Susan, and Alan, even electronically. Now that we have the pleasure of meeting you in person, it's even more warmly to see you in the screen. Let me also say that I would like to express my gratitude for the constant support that we have from the Fulbright Foundation, and also from the director in Greece, Artemis, which is always a great promoter of the collaboration between the Greek and the US universities. It is my pleasure to say a few words about the collaboration between Heracopio University of Athens and Rutgers State University of New Jersey. And it is a great pleasure to be able to present this collaboration together with Professor Decker. Riva, thank you for the collaboration and friendship, and also Matthew Matsagiannis, a professor in Rutgers, who are our partners in this. We are here because we can talk about the results of this collaboration, and we would like to briefly present two projects that took place last year. And instead of transparencies, I thought it would be nice to bring the people involved to say a few words about these projects. Both involve common activities between undergraduate and postgraduate students of Rutgers and Harokopio University of Athens. And we are also pleased to be able to say that we will definitely do it again next year. These efforts have two different dimensions. We will discuss a common online course that took place and with credits that could be accredited to students participating in the course, and also our experience organizing common summer schools participated by both by students by both universities. So I will invite Riva to say a few words, and then I believe that I will have the opportunity to give the floor to the people involved to talk about those efforts.
Well, thank you, Mara, and I'm honored to be here today. I was honored to be with my partner, Matthew Matsaganis, chosen for the IAPP Greece, and for thanks to the Greek government and the American government for all the support in this, and particularly to Mara, because our relationship with Harokopio goes back to 2016, when I first visited her university and then had the honor of participating in a programmatic review for their nutrition program as it became internationally recognized for its achievements. With our School of Public Health, the past summer, they had a wonderful course on the Mediterranean diet, and they traveled to several places in Greece, as well as had students from the United States at Rutgers University School of Public Health and Harokopio participate in the course, learning together and visiting places together. I know in the coming summer, they're looking at doing a program where Harokopio students actually come to the U.S., and we'll be excited to meet with them there. And working with Mara and Matthew now, we're looking at plans for 2025 already. But I will now turn it over to my colleague, Matthew Matsaganis, who can talk about the exciting program he developed last year with Christos Diou that will be repeated again this coming spring.
Hello, everyone. I will say two words because I know I want really to have Christo and our other colleague from Harokopio speak. So I think our collaboration began in the pandemic. The Pharos Summit solidified what we were doing in a very impactful way at all individual and institutional levels. The course that we co-design and co-implementing with Harokopio, I think it is a great example of effort to leverage cross-disciplinary and kind of cross-country expertise, and enables us to study things like health and communication technology across different contexts, policy contexts, cultural contexts, etc. Things that we could not do each of us separately, but we can do it together in ways that have a lasting impact on our students on both sides. And so I'll pass the mic over. I know we're tight on time. I want to pass the mic over to, I think, Christos Diou, who I saw here a minute ago, and he can decide who goes next. Thanks a lot for everything.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Mara, Riva, for the great collaboration. It's an honor to be here, to be invited to just mention and build upon what Matthew just said about our collaboration during this course last year. It was a very interesting experience because it was actually a synchronous course. We had people joining from Greece in the room, and the people at the same time being in the US, and we somehow managed to do that despite the time difference. It was a very interesting experience. But the most interesting part was that, as Matthew said, it was an interdisciplinary group. We had three group projects, where we had in the same team people from the US and Greece with different backgrounds, working on touching upon issues like, for example, biases and disparities introduced by the use of technology in healthcare, and how we can tackle these issues, and how we can identify and at least be aware of these issues. So it was a very interesting experience. I think the student group responded very well to that. We had some very nice presentations at the end. People were happy about both the experience of collaborating with people from another country, as well as the fact that they were collaborating with people from entirely different disciplines. So I think we all learned a lot about that. And as Matthew said, we are going to repeat this experience this year and expand it and grow it further. I should also be grateful and thank Mara Nikolaidou, our rector, Riva Tiger for their support. It would not be possible to do that without them, and also, of course, Matthew for the hard work and for the great collaboration we had over the last year. So thank you all for listening to me about this experience.
And thank you all for joining in the presentation today, and it's really exciting.
Do we have
Mara?
2 more minutes? Because
yes, go ahead.
We have also here Professor Georges Novikos, who will talk about the summer school and the plans of returning the visit next year.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, the organizing committee of this Pharos anniversary, to present this summer school that was organized by the joint efforts of Rutgers University School of Public Health and Harkop University. Actually, the idea of this summer school was first brought up back in 2019, when the first MOU between Rutgers and Harkop University was signed. At that time, we thought that it would be an attractive action for graduate students of both schools, and the first step to a wider collaboration. We had to postpone the summer school for 3 consecutive years because of the COVID pandemic and the Ukraine war. Then we have to find a very interesting topic to merge the interest of graduate students coming from different fields, public health and nutrition, of course, the bureaucracy and the time-consuming procedures of the Greek universities. And finally, we have to persuade Rutgers and Harkop students for the educational benefits of this summer school. Finally, last June, the first summer school entitled Food and the Mediterranean Culture was held at Harkop University. And I have to say that the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics at Harkop University is considered a center of excellence for the study of the Mediterranean diet, with over 400 publications in peer-reviewed journals. So the first summer school was a combination of in-class lectures and experiential learning, 1 week lectures at Harkop University, 1 week field trip to Nafplio and Kalamata, visits to food industries, archaeological places, museums, and an organic farm, offering 3 US credits to American students and 4.5 ECTS units to the Greek students. 12 graduate students from Rutgers University and 12 graduate students from Harkop University were enrolled. And we were very happy to see the enthusiastic response of our students from both sides of the Atlantic, the chemistry between them, and they really enjoyed this summer school. The feedback was really enthusiastic, and that's why that made us to proceed to the preparation of the second summer school, now at Rutgers University at New Jersey. The title of this second summer school will be Food System Transformations for Sustainable Diets, in order to give a more political, economical, and environmental aspect and perspective of nutrition and diet. And we are planning a lot of activities, a lot of trips to different places, food industries, farms, and so on. We are expecting 16 graduate students from both universities to participate, and let's hope that the second summer school will be also very successful. So I would like to thank all the contributors from both universities and, of course, the support of our rector, Mara Nicolaidou. Thank you very much.
So I guess what I have to do, Sylvia, is get my grandkids all into Rutgers so that they can do that fabulous summer program, because they all love to eat.
Looks amazing, and
They're very welcome.
Exciting to see the plans for the sustainability of these partnerships. Already looking towards, one of the presenters talked about even 2025 and what that may look like. So thank you all for presenting the robust partnerships that have come out of the Pharos Summit. And last but not least, today we have Ionian University and the University of Texas Health Houston. You all have the floor. Thank you.
Great. Good morning, friends. My name is Paul Schultz, and I'm a professor of neurology at UT Health in Houston, Texas of the USA. Professor Vlamos is our very close direct collaborator at Ionian University in Greece, who will be speaking with me. Together, we want to thank you for the opportunity to present our ongoing collaboration. We hope that our partnership is exemplary of the goals of the Pharos Summit, whose anniversary we celebrate today, and demonstrates the excellent partnership that has grown between Dr. Vlamos' group and my group. In slide 1 here, we can see our institutions have entered into a research collaboration between the Neurocognitive Disorders Center here and Dr. Vlamos' Laboratory of Bioinformatics and Human Electrophysiology at Ionian University. Our collaboration focuses on using digital biomedicine to develop and enhance technologies to diagnose neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, to detect them earlier when they're most treatable, and to understand the genetic and environmental contributions to their risk. To date, we have been successful in our partnership as we have maintained a close collaboration since 2020. We've developed scientific projects to investigate digital biomarkers for early detection of Alzheimer's and related disorders. And finally, we made it to the 4th and final round of a very prestigious grant called the Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative. And we made it there despite the fact that we were very early in our collaboration. So let us tell you how this came about. My team and Dr. Vlamos' team have a common interest in developing tools that diagnose and detect very early events in neurodegeneration, and then ascertaining the underlying processes. The reasoning is that the more we understand about Alzheimer's, the more therapeutic options we can develop for our patients. We were introduced to each other through a common collaborator several years ago and established our first MOU in 2020. And although the pandemic did initially limit our progress, we were still able to plan and submit grants related to digital biomedicine and neurodegenerative diseases. Last year was very important, however, as we finally met in person due to the Pharos Summit, and this gave us the opportunity to talk and brainstorm and outline a series of very important projects that would benefit both our scientific interests and those of our institutions. Dr. Vlamos?
Yes. So it is an enormous pleasure working with Dr. Schultz and his team. And mainly our project involves the analysis of approximately 36,000 genomic profiles from the Alzheimer's disease sequencing project, which was collected in the United States, and also genetic data sets to be collected and filled in Greece to identify genetic risk factors in population at risk of developing ADRDs. So we try to establish a way of investigating novel biomarkers for a risk of Alzheimer's disease, mainly digital ones. And we want to establish a cutting-edge scientific research with end goal of establishing a long-term sustainable partnership, as it seems. The respective roles of this research is from Ionian University, from Bioinformatics and Human Electrophysiology Lab, to collect and curate all the data associated with the Greek population, analyze them, and investigate ADRD-associated biomarkers from Greek individuals and provide those to the expertise of Dr. Schultz's team at Houston to establish X factor associations.
Yeah, and at UT Health, we'll investigate the relationships between Alzheimer's risk factors and genetic profiles through bioinformatic analyses. What this means is that we think that Alzheimer's has environmental and genetic contributions, and using complex bioinformatic analyses, we can ascertain the relative contributions of each. Number two, we will evaluate protein biomarkers to ascertain their role in producing Alzheimer's. What this means is that in the brain of people with Alzheimer's, lots of proteins deposit, like tau and amyloid you might have heard about, and they're variously deposited in patients with Alzheimer's, and we're going to investigate their role in producing the variable expression of Alzheimer's that we see. And finally, we'll investigate the role of comorbidities in Alzheimer's. As an example, we suspect that other comorbid illnesses like diabetes and hypertension may increase the risk for Alzheimer's. Here we're going to be able to test the role of these other medical conditions on increasing the risk of Alzheimer's in Greek and American populations. Together, we've established 5 research collaborative milestones, or aims, as we call them. Aim 1 is to identify risk factors associated with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's in Greek and American populations. Aim 2 is to investigate the unique characteristics of the Greek population and their susceptibility to diseases. Aim 3 is to identify new genes and genetic variations that contribute to increasing or protecting against Alzheimer's disease in Greek population. Aim 4 is to determine whether there are genetic variations that are responsible for differences in how Alzheimer's presents between Greeks in the mainland and in the island communities. And finally, Aim 5 is to translate genetic results into meaningful therapeutic targets that can be used to develop additional treatments for Alzheimer's disease.
So the final challenges in our common research work is first that we are steadily establishing the first Alzheimer's disease sequencing project in Greece. Secondly, we are trying to construct a digital large-scale multi-ethnic biobank. And of course, in parallel with all these challenges, we have training experience which is most valuable from us, from UT Health, especially in fields that we could not imagine that we had access before, like nuclear medicine. Thank you very much.
Thank you both for that presentation. And, you know, what struck me about that in particular was the clearly outlined complementary but roles that were presented in that slide that really point to a sustainable strategic partnership. So, and Paul, I remember being on the road with you in Greece, and just your passion really comes through in this. And I'm so happy that you found a partner in Ionian University. So thank you both for sharing that.
Thank you, Sylvia, a lot for your contribution also. It was valuable.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking at the time now, and I just want to generally thank our presenting institutions for sharing all of your insights and progress. We have research. I think it really showed the diversity of partnerships that came out of the summit, and this was only a small portion of them. We had, research and summer school, student mobility, and others. It's truly inspiring to witness the positive impact of these collaborations. And so today, while we don't have time for questions, we really invite everyone to please connect with one another after this if you have specific questions around any aspect of the partnerships presented today. And Theo will talk soon about our future plans as we move forward. But just want to reiterate that, we're always here for you, on your side, and to assist and ideate however you need. We're a phone call away, a Zoom call away, etc. In closing, I want to express gratitude to all of our participants and all of the partnerships that have come out of this Pharos Summit and the IAPP program. We all know that your commitment to the future of higher education is truly commendable, and we look forward to seeing the continued success and all of the collaborative efforts. Now it's my pleasure to hand it over to Theo, who has been a partner in IIE and all of our partners here, and surely to the universities on the call as well. Theo?
Well, thank you very much. And I would like to thank all the presenters and faculty for their interest and commitment that demonstrate finally the success of this program, of our initiative, which, as you mentioned, represents, and in my opinion as well, a cultural shift, a game changer regarding the academic and research collaboration between the US and Greece. So we're very proud of your achievements and your participation in this program. But what the future of this relationship, partnership holds? The IIE study in Greece, we are aware of the fact that launching a successful partnership is always filled with a variety of challenges or obstacles sometimes. We're here to serve as a platform, promoting enhanced collaboration between the institutions from both sides of the Atlantic. So we're a supportive mechanism, and we do not forget it. So we aim at assisting institutions by sharing ideas and providing precious tools in order to address these challenges of international collaborations. The most important challenge, as it's generally in life, is funding. It is the greatest challenge, as all US survey respondents mentioned. That's why we're going to launch a series of thematic virtual discussions, and we will start from focusing on funding mechanisms for supporting and boosting international collaboration between US and Greek institutions. I don't know if Artemis, do you want to elaborate on this?
You're catching me unprepared. All my suggestions, but thank you. Anyway, most important, it was gratifying to hear these presentations, but also to know what's happening behind the scenes between many other institutions in the country that are having multiple collaborations. And yes, indeed, as you're saying, funding is an issue. However, many times, we have sources around us that we may not necessarily know how their existence or how to utilize them. So the idea of one of the first webinars that we're anticipating in the beginning of the new year is a little bit of present a bit of a mapping and of what the funding landscape can support between US-Greece educational exchanges. Because yes, it has to do with money, but not necessarily always, because many times, grassroots programs we've seen that started with existing scholarship opportunities can really grow into something more substantive. And we've seen that time and again. So I think that I've mentioned enough. Stay tuned for the date in January, and also keep in mind that we are welcoming input about ideas on different types of webinars that we can host through this platform that can facilitate exchanges. I know that most Greek universities, and I'm not going to talk about the US universities, have already great relationships with a number of US institutions and academics. But the idea of this more concentrated effort is to facilitate and enhance what already exists, basically.
Great,
Thank you.
Thank you. The first virtual discussion, will be taking place, as Artemis mentioned, within the last week of January, but we will keep you posted. Other topics include 2+2 agreements and other forms of curricular collaboration, the development and organization and coordination of short-term courses and summer programs, credit transfer issues, which is very important as well, and a memorandum of agreements, and etc. etc. Actually, as Artemis mentioned, you can also propose and suggest some ideas according to your experience from your collaboration and partnerships, or from your initiatives. I think that Artemis, on to you. Yeah.
One more thing that, given that we didn't have the time, it's important also to remember a very successful program that was funded by the Stavros Niarchos Foundation and implemented through IAE and the Fulbright Foundation, the Greek Diaspora Fellowship Program that initially started with the Greek diaspora in the United States, but then it expanded in all the diasporic countries. And this facilitated about 130 some academics, Greek-born academics that are teaching. Initially, they were teaching U.S. universities or in diasporic universities. And they have come to Greece and forged relationships with different academic institutions. We know for a fact that some of these partnerships, it was like planting the seeds, and a number of collaborations sprouted and flourished after that. So one of the things that we may want to consider is also look at a map of contacts that can facilitate our Greek-U.S. That already exists. So a mapping, I know that a decade ago, if not more, there was a mapping of Greek academics in the United States, or of Greek origin. So I think these are excellent partners also to highlight and embrace them into this effort.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we can facilitate it, because we have launched, as Study in Greece, a virtual platform called Ithaca, International Hellenic Academia. And I think that maybe participants from this or other programs that you mentioned can provide them with their insights. We are going to send some specific emails regarding our digital platforms in order to tune in, and we'll move forward. Because I think that
I have a question.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm George Andreou from the University of Thessaly. I'm from the administrative board of the university. And I would like to ask, now that Ms. Anetou mentioned the Greek diaspora program, the University of Thessaly had about, I think, 10 collaborations in this program. And there were colleagues from the U.S. universities who came to our laboratories. I had one from the University of Alabama, and this cooperation continued, and we're still on the process of the experiments we started. And I would like to ask, is this going to be continued? Because I think it stopped, this program, the Greek diaspora.
Well, let's say that the cycle 1 and 2 concluded, and we would see whether it will be revived in a different shape and form, because now with the Greek-U.S. new collaboration, it may be we may focus in a different way, but certainly it's good to know that there is interest.
Yes, and also maybe you should consider that not only the Greek professors from abroad to come to Greece, but Greek professors to go for a week or so, or I don't know, to the laboratories of the foreign universities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think these are all great ideas, and perhaps that in Greece can create also a forum that we can sort of like have ideas and see how we can best respond and address, because as I said, there are opportunities many times and we may not necessarily see them. So
exactly. Thank you.
We can do it within the context of our virtual discussions to set up a virtual agora, for example, to share insights and ideas. And we can also invite faculty from exemplary programs to present the procedures and the objectives of the whole organization of these programs. So we will get back to you soon with updates and new ideas. I think that our celebratory event is coming to an end.
No cake then.
Yeah, Evangelia?
No cake. I see no cake.
No cake. Next time. In person, yeah.
We'll take your word for that.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I would like to thank you all for your participation in today's event and ongoing willingness to explore, materialize, and promote collaborations and fruitful interactions with your counterparts from the US, and for Greece that goes vice versa. I consider that, as Minister Pirakakis mentioned and outlined, the Hellenic American ground is more fertile than ever before, and we will have much more academic initiatives and programs launched within the near future. And I wish you all the very best and look forward to seeing you next. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Nice to be
Bye.
together this day.
Sylvia, Artemis, do you want to?
no, just wanted to
No,
say